Hi, my name's Tim Barrier, and my family and I have been on an incredible journey over the last 16 months, and it's with my mom and multiple myeloma and medical cannabis, or the CBD molecule more specifically. Um, my mom was diagnosed with multiple myeloma about 16 months ago, but the story goes back quite a bit farther than that. In fact, it goes back to the 1960s. We lived in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, where my dad was stationed as a Marine, and myself and two of my brothers were born there in Camp Lejeune. We lived there for about 3 years. But during that time period, there was water contamination going on that really wasn't revealed to anyone until much later. But the water contamination was 10 times worse than Flint, Michigan's last year. And we were there drinking that water and cooking with that water and bathing in that water for about 3 years. And so fast forward to 2016, 2017, my mom's not feeling well. She's not feeling herself. She's feeling run down, and she went in to get some tests done at the doctor's office. And she was here that night actually when the doctor called and said that she needs to get to the emergency room right away. And so it was revealed at the emergency room that she had very high calcium in her blood and very high M-type proteins in her blood, which were a telltale sign that she had multiple myeloma. And so the doctors recommended a couple of courses of a drug called Revlimid. It's about $800 a pill. And Revlimid is actually a derivative of thalidomide, which was taken by pregnant women back in the 60s to prevent morning sickness. But it turned out that this medication actually caused some birth defects, and it was a really tough time, I think, for a lot of families back in that time period. But it just so happens that this drug Revlimid is kind of a variation of thalidomide, and it just so happens it does have some effect against multiple myeloma cancer. So as the cancer goes into your bones, it ejects these plasma M cell proteins, and then also ejects your calcium. And then terrible osteoporosis is also one of the side effects. And my mother broke 3 vertebrae in her back, and needed some procedures to repair her back. But she was on the Revlimid for about 2 months, and at the end of the Revlimid, she had lost 55 pounds. She really had stopped eating during the entire process. And we'd been going over to visit her, and she looked thinner and thinner every time we saw her. And we knew this was going to be a tough fight. And then finally we went over on a Saturday, and she'd lost all that 55 pounds, and she was in her chair, and the only way I could describe her is defeated, just completely defeated. And my mom has succeeded at everything she's tried, and this was not something that she was really used to, which was being beaten. And so my brother Steve has a medical marijuana card, and he mentioned to me that we need to do something different. We just can't let Western medicine, and the doctors do their best, but they only have the tools that they have. And he recommended that we start looking at medical cannabis. So about the same time, I met this guy named Alex Fleet in Vista at a Starbucks, and he sat down next to me and just right out of the blue just asked me if I had anybody in my life that was suffering. And I broke down in tears, and I said, my mom is dying of cancer. So he takes his cell phone out. He just starts showing me video after video after video of people that are finding relief from whatever human affliction they had. I mean, people with cancer, people with migraine headaches, people with fibromyalgia, people with epilepsy, Parkinson's disease. And the people in the videos couldn't hold it together either. They'd start talking about their mom or dad, and they broke down crying, and it was but they were tears of happiness because they were having such amazing relief with this CBD molecule. So my brother Steve and I went ahead and went to talk to my dad, who is a minister, about putting my mom on the CBD molecule, and hopefully we can save her life, because she was literally dying right in front of us. And my dad, after some convincing, did agree that we could do that. So we went downtown Vista, and there's a coffee shop down there, and the coffee shop had CBDs. We bought gummies, we bought infused water, a couple cases of infused water, and then also bought some skin cream that had CBD in it. And we brought it up to the house, and we started her on a Saturday, and she hadn't really eaten much of anything in about 3 weeks. And so on Saturday she started 3 or 4 gummy bears in the morning, afternoon, and evening, 2 or 3 waters a day. And then my dad would rub this CBD skin cream on her back where she had broken these vertebrae because she was in really just terrible pain. And so that was a Saturday. On Wednesday she called me in my office and said that last night I had a dream about food and your dad's taking me to breakfast. So that was amazing, because there's a hunger response in 5 days that, something had happened. And I wasn't sure if it was the CBDs or she was just getting better, but I had a feeling it was something really special going on here. So she started eating again. Her appetite started to come back, and the doctors were just amazed because the tests come back 3 months later. My dad took her back to the doctor to be checked on, and they said that your calcium and M proteins are very low, unusually low for someone who has multiple myeloma. And for those of you who are dealing with this right now, you'll know that this is not a cancer that you ever completely get rid of. But some people manage it with diet and with Revlimid and other means, and to extend your life or extend their lives. But they could not figure out why her numbers were so low. And then about 3 months later, we kept her on the CBDs. We kept her on this regimen, and she's starting to eat, and she's starting to get her strength back. And Dad brought her back to the doctor about 3 months later, and her numbers are even lower still. And they just cannot believe it. And my dad even said, "Hey, it's the CBD she's taken." And they were like, "We can't discuss that with you." They were not willing to discuss it with them because I'm sure that they've got their reasons. But needless to say, 14 months has gone by. My mom's numbers are still amazingly low, almost non-existent on those proteins and calcium in her blood. She's put on 60 pounds. She's actually 5 pounds heavier than she was when she started this journey. And it's just incredible. She's playing bridge and bunco with her friends. She's 76 years old, and that's what 76-year-old ladies do, is they play bridge and bunco. We all went on an Alaska cruise that she had booked the previous year, which was supposed to be her last time with her family. That's why she had booked us all on this cruise. And so we get back from the Alaska cruise, and they book another cruise. They just went on a 21-day Panama Canal cruise. And she's back to her normal self. It is absolutely amazing. In the meantime, we're continuing her on the CBDs, and she'll be on them for the rest of her life. So in the meantime, I'm doing research. I'm doing exhaustive amounts of research on multiple myeloma, but also other human conditions, and how this cannabidiol, this phytocannabinoid, is necessary in our bodies because we have this thing called this endocannabinoid system that no one knows about. Most medical schools don't talk about this, and there's a number of doctors out there that probably don't know that the largest self-regulating system in your body is the endocannabinoid system, and it is designed to receive phytocannabinoids and endogenous cannabinoids, which are produced in our own bodies. And so there are neural pathways that only this compound can fit into. It regulates our hunger, it regulates mood, it regulates appetite, it has unbelievable analgesic and anti-inflammatory capabilities. And the more I dig into this compound, the more I have to tell you is this is the God molecule. My mom, 14 months after, has zero sign really of multiple myeloma in her system. So if you're out there and you're on a journey, like on a journey like we were and like I am, this is something you need to look at. And if you're have some trepidation because you think that marijuana is bad, don't look at it as marijuana. Look at this as medical cannabis. This is the non-psychotropic component of the molecule, so there's no psychoactivity at all. You won't get high. You won't feel anything as far as any kind of a psychoactive effect. But the molecule is designed to be in our systems, and we're all starving from it. And so many of the human conditions that we have now are much more prevalent than they were when I was a kid. I don't remember kids with peanut allergies. I don't remember kids with gluten allergies. I don't remember autistic kids when I was in elementary school. I don't remember fibromyalgia. I don't remember adults with irritable bowel syndrome or Crohn's disease. These seem to be modern conditions. And the farther we get away from not having hemp or phytocannabinoids in our diet prior to 1933, these phytocannabinoids were part of Americana. They were a farmed crop. We fed this farm crop to livestock. We ate the livestock. We ingested these phytocannabinoids. We made teas out of it and drinks out of it, and it was in the U.S. Pharmacopoeia. Now it's been completely removed, and every generation that gets away from that 1930s decision to make hemp very taxable and also to make it illegal, each generation seems to get sicker. And so our environments are polluted, and we need to do everything we can by feeding that that endocannabinoid system with phytocannabinoids. So if you're on this journey, do your research. Leave me a message on this YouTube channel. I'll respond and I'll help you as much as I can. My job is to try to help you. And the products that we have my mom on now are the most concentrated, refined CBD products in the world. And there's no byproducts like ethanol or butane or alcohol in these CBD products. They are absolutely the most refined in the world. And I'm working with these products as well. So thanks for watching, and I appreciate it. Bye-bye.